Hey, boys and girls, it's Channel Cats Go Up, and we're here again. Going to be talking about another TV series, but of course it's nerdy. we're following the trend,
right?
So anyway, we're going to be talking about Book of Boba Fett. Is it just Book of Boba?
It's just Book of Boba.
It is, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a Chinese drink. It's great. Book of Boba.
How to make a drink? No, you. Now I get tapioca.
Yeah.
You like a tapioca ball. But yes, it's pretty fucking good. I'm enjoying it so far.
It's definitely filling in the story or narrative of who Boba Fett was, other than the child actor's rendition, which you don't get too much. You know, he's just a bratty kid in episode 2, and then it's episode 2, whereas in episode 5 he's just a silent bounty hunter. I think he has all of 2-3 lines in the entire
2 lines
original series, and then in
3
and then,
right? I think it's 3. Anyway.
Yeah, and then in Return of the Jedi he just dies into the Sarlacc. So oddly enough, the way that he gets out of the Sarlacc, I mean, I guess you know that he gets out of the Sarlacc because of the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, yeah.
But it's funny the way that he they show and display the
insides,
and then getting out of the Sarlacc Pit is described by Patton Oswalt in Parks and Rec when he's doing a filibuster scene.
Really?
In Parks and Rec.
Really?
He says, fade into the 2 sons of Tatooine. A hand emerges out of the sand, and it's Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc Pit or something like that. It's pretty freaking ridiculous.
Really? That's funny.
But yeah, before we go into complete spoilers, we both like Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett, the generic, no spoiler story is the story in between the Sarlacc Pit to current time of the Mandalorian series, because it kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, him sitting on the throne that used to be Jabba's was Bib Fortuna. So, you know, it's pretty good. If you like the Mandalorian, this will definitely itch all those or scratch all those itches.
Yeah, it's done by Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yeah. So, who I respect a lot. Predators was decent for what he had to work with. But did you ever watch Death Proof? Right? No, the other one, the one with the chick with the leg that had the gun on it. That are overkill.
Yeah. So, what was the movie combined called? Grindhouse?
No. Yes, it was called Grindhouse, but it was.
It sounded like Planet Terror or something like that, or.
Yes.
So,
or House of Terror, maybe, I don't know. Anyway,
we'll throw it up there.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't matter.
we respect what he does.
Well.
So yeah, basically, the first couple scenes of Book of Boba is him escaping the Sarlacc Pit, where he's savage that he takes the air hose of a stormtrooper who's clearly his armor does nothing because it's not as strong as Beskar.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is when you see it, it looks like this digestive acids in multiple folds of flesh and etc.
Yeah.
And it's weird. If you look closely, you can see that Stormtrooper armor is actually melting. You can see it in the scenes.
Okay.
And basically, Boba knows that he needs to get the hell out. He punches through the wall and then he fires or burns his way out and gets out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jawas come through and steal his armor, and then Tusken Raiders find him and keep him as a slave. So it's basically an interwoven storyline between current, which is 10 ABY, 9 ABY, which is 9 years after the Battle of Yavin is the and then so it's that storyline right after the Mandalorian, after going to that planet with Grogu, and the intertwinedness of how he got out of the Sarlacc, how he became, I think, a Tusken Raider essentially, and what happened there. So with that said,
I mean, I think it's pretty cool how they do tell some of the backstory, but it's a very flashback heavy show.
Yeah, it bounces around, so if you're not one who can pay attention to multiple moving parts, it might be hard for you to follow.
And for me, I just kind of feel like like, don't get me wrong, I do want to get his backstory, but I feel like it's getting a little too formulaic at this point.
Okay.
Where it's like, it always starts off with him in the bantha tank getting healed, and he's getting flashbacks, but...
Well, the reason for that is I think they alluded it to in episode 4. It's not necessarily healing his outside, but the emotional scars on the inside. The bantha tank is allowing him to heal those wounds as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh. I thought... Oh, okay. Anyway. So, yeah, the, like, you could tell, because he's got, like, his skin gets kind of messed up and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess.
It's from twofold, the Sarlacc Pit acid and the sun from Tatooine.
Okay. But yeah, so he looks like wrinkled shit, so...
Yeah, a scab that needs to come off.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So, but yeah, he, it's really neat. I did like some of the backstory with the Tusken Raiders. I felt like it was a little drawn out at times.
Yeah.
But, you know, we finally crossed the finish line. We're starting to see... I don't know why. I just kind of want to see him become a crime lord. Like...
You don't want to see him as a peace-loving 3-3 person. He just...
Oh, really?
Yeah. You just want to see him as Boba Fett crime lord.
No, I want to see his progression
Okay.
of, like, becoming that. Like, I'm not saying, like, I do love that we got the backstories that we did, but I felt like they kind of stretched it out a little bit.
Sure.
And I also want to see him kind of go up against the other crime syndicates, yeah, I guess, and just kind of see him go up and, like, basically build his empire, which he's kind of doing piece by piece. But I feel like they're, in my opinion, focusing on the stuff that I find interesting less, and focusing more on, like, him learning how to fight with a fucking stick that the fucking Tusken Raiders use.
Gaffer stick.
Yeah. And it's like, I think you could have made that, like, 5-minute clip a minute.
So I think what you're drawing upon is kind of what I'm thinking as you were talking, is that we have a pedestal that Boba Fett is on, because not only did we think he was, like, the coolest character from our youth, but he was also a badass.
Yeah.
And a badass doesn't necessarily find one with the tribe, you know, become one of the tribe and all that in the length that it's going. You want to see him, you know, shoot first. You want to see him take names. You want him to run the thing, and the progression's a little slow, and his in our perception on how badass he is taking a little bit of a backseat in this series. And it's not horrible, but it's just different for us. I think that's kind of what
it's not... I mean, he's still badass.
Sure.
I just kind of feel like, you know, certain things, like, we don't need a 5-minute long, like, him learning how to fight with a...
gaffy stick.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, I just felt like they could have just moved that along and then fleshed out him recruiting the cybernetic people more so, and talking
the mod
to them.
people.
Yeah.
Well, let's. I'll run through a quick, brief discussion of both timelines real quick, and then catch us up, and then we can go into more details of what we're thinking of the series and how it could be better, I suppose. Okay. So, like we said, he escapes the Sarlacc Pit. He gets found by Tusken Raiders. He's held as a prisoner. He then is used as a slave, essentially, to find these water pods or fruit.
Yeah, I forget what they're called.
In the sand, and in so doing that, he kills off
It's a fruit, though.
Yeah, they kill this desert Goro-looking thing.
Oh yeah, right.
And
you know what I got vibes from is did you ever see Clash of the Titans, the old one?
No.
Oh, okay. The Kraken looked like that.
Yeah, okay.
I remember as a kid always thinking to myself, like, isn't the Kraken a squid?
Or a water beast, right?
Yeah, but like he comes out and he looks like Goro essentially,
okay.
But like if Goro and the creature from the Black Lagoon had a baby.
Okay, because that's a magic card. There's a card called Title Kraken, and it's a 4-armed like Goro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
That's probably it.
But either way, so he fights this creature. The Tusken Raiders like, oh, he's useful. He's not just a slave. He's able to fight. We could use him. And eventually they allow him to be one of the tribe. He's accepted. And then he learns their ways. The ways being, you know, being a Tusken Raider, drinking, eating like a Tusken Raider, fighting like a Tusken Raider. So that's why the Gaffy Stick is instrumental, and how the Gaffy Stick comes about, and then also becoming one of the tribe. Mm-hmm. So the thing you learn also is that...
Well, he's also compassionate towards the kid that's there.
Yeah, the Tatooine was a water planet, which is very...
they did bring some lore in there, which I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was covered in water till I don't know if it's a crime syndicate, bombed the hell out of the city or this world and turned it into a desert, is essentially what I heard.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to his homeland of Camino. It's filled with water. So in the process of becoming a Tusken Raider, or one of the people, he learns how to fight with the Gaffy Stick. He uses the rifle, and then he also gets on what looks to be a fever dream where a lizard goes into his brain, takes him to this majestical tree to create his own Gaffy Stick. And he is also solving problems for the Tusken Raiders. There is a Necto speed biker gang that has been harassing them. So he goes, beats them up and steals all their speeders. Then a second problem comes where the
speed train, right?
Yeah, it's a crime syndicate. I forget what they're called. They're water people, and they're running spice through Tatooine. And this train comes by, basically, just like kills 6 to 12 people in the Tusken Raiders, and then a couple of banthas every time they run through. And he destroys the train and gives a warning to that particular race of people, like, hey, this is our land, don't...
Oh, yeah. Well, he basically gives them an ultimatum. Yeah. Like, you know, if you do as we say, we'll let you pass, and we'll also protect you, essentially. So he's doing the gangster shit, essentially.
Yeah, but unfortunately in that process, the Nikto Speeder gang comes by and kills and slaughters all the Tusken Raiders.
While they're sleeping, right? Wasn't it what it was?
Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Even the younglings know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, I think so, right?
Well, it's a joke in terms of Anakin killing the younglings.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no.
But the thing is this...
Oh, you mean the Obi-Wan quote.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
And the thing is this... it's weird because with the importance of the child Tusken Raider, and then that one, it seemed like a female Tusken Raider that took the speeder into the train, you figured that that person played such an important role that legitimately they would have kept a couple of the Tusken Raiders, but I guess that pain fueled Boba to be Boba.
Yeah, well, it gave him an excuse to basically branch out and finally go his own way,
right.
Like, because he was basically kind of getting inducted into the tribe.
So from that storyline, you move into Phase 1.5, which is the part with the Mandalorian. Basically, the one episode where the Mandalorian needs to find this bounty hunter for this reward, and he finds Fennec Shand.
Yeah,
they usually actually use that same clip from the Mandalorian.
But that's the last episode, right? Well, yeah, that's right. Because was the train him losing all of the tribe.
Yes, was in episode 4.
Was it 4?
Yes, but I'm going. Oh, the train was 3, but I'm going through all the timeline and then taking the interwovenness and then putting it at the end.
No, I got you. Okay.
So he finds Fennec Shand. She's shot in the chest and mortally wounded. To fix her, he takes her to a mod shop in Mos Eisley, where basically these people are hardwiring themselves with droid tech to be stronger, powerful, and the bionic man, if you will.
Yeah.
They fixed her up, and
because she basically gets a hole blown into her.
Yeah. He basically saves her life, and Shanick basically owes him a favor. So his one favor is going to Jabba's palace, which is not Bib Fortuna's palace, to get his ship, because Jabba died, Bib Fortuna took over. He goes into the after some reconnaissance, steals his ship back.
Mm-hmm. Which is a cool sequence, right. Honestly. I enjoyed that. Like, I will say, like, that sequence of that was... This past episode's flashback was much more manageable because it basically encompassed the entire episode.
Sure.
Now, was there a lot of information that was given, stuff that I hadn't already painted in my own mind? Yeah, it wasn't.
No.
Like I just kind of felt like I was like, okay, it was exactly how I thought it would have been. Like,
and so from that point on, they luckily take the ship back. He then enacts revenge on this Nikto speeder bike gang by basically blasting.
Oh yeah, he eradicates them.
Yeah, blasting the F out of them out of the Slave One turret, and then taking a missile and destroying the leader with a missile. And then, oddly enough, where he kills all these Nikto bike gang members is next to the Sarlacc Pit. And for whatever reason, he thinks his armor's in there, and they give like a final goodbye to the Sarlacc Pit, if you will.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he drops one of those pulse bombs.
Well, no, Shenik does.
Yeah, and it kills. We hope or assume finally kills the Sarlacc Pit.
Shenik?
Shenik Fan? I don't know.
No. I think it's Fennec Shan.
Yeah.
So I think anyway.
Yeah. Kills the Sarlacc, and then basically like Fennec is just like, okay, what's next? He's like, what's next? I thought it was just the one favor.
Yeah.
And so she's like, okay, I'll team up with you. She likes the loyalty aspect. And that kind of brings into where the interwoven parts are of the current time, where
but back to the how they killed the Sarlacc Pit though.
Yeah.
That one of the most famous fucking new weapons that was ever introduced, the fucking sonic pulse bomb, like the sound of that thing is the coolest fucking sound I've ever heard out of like in these years. It's just like wow.
Every time I go into Best Buy, they play that one scene, and I just stop, listen, appreciate,
really?
move on. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Or at least for when I used to go to Best Buy quite often.
Really?
But yeah.
Oh.
So that happens, and then it kind of mixes into where they're at now, which they help the Mandalorian with. Mandalorian helps him get his armor back, and Mandalorian owes him a favor, which they go to that planet, and he defends him as, what's his name? Not Gestapo, but Gus Fring. What's his name? Grand Moff. It's Moff something. Not Grand Moff Tarkin, but it's like Moff Gideon. Moff
right?
Gideon.
Yeah.
Moff Gideon Graves.
Yes.
Moff Gideon and protects Grogu from Moff's hands, and then goes back to Tatooine, kills Bib Fortuna, takes his throne as Shenik is having a bottle of Spotchka, the blue liquid, and then they try to take over Mos Espa, the city closest to Jabba, to try to take over his land. So then in the flashbacks include basically, he goes into town and people are like, who the hell are you? And he wants tribute for being the leader, the owner of this area, the syndicate, and people don't respect him. They find out that after Jabba died, Bib Fortuna kind of lost control because he wasn't as tactful as Jabba, and it split into through 3 syndicates. So at that point, Boba's trying to create a reputation for himself. He goes to a club. That club knows who he is. They give him a tribute, but they don't really take him seriously. Yeah. He tries to figure out why. He goes to the mayor's office, like, what's going on? And they're saying there's someone behind all this. You find out that Jabba's cousin, the twins, so you see another Huttese person. Yeah. Because you see Jabba, you see baby Jabba in episode 1, and along with his family, and then the 2 twins and the Huttese, or the cousins, saying they own the syndicate. And you see a Wookiee, which is oh god, what is his name?
I forget his name, but he's badass looking.
Yeah, he's actually in the comic books.
That's really?
How he was introduced in the comic books. And so,
wait, is it fucking Afra?
In the Afra series.
It's that one? Oh.
Also, that comic book is worth a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I think the first Afra.
No shit.
Or at least the first appearance of Afra and Darth Vader, I think is worth some money.
Damn. I do have one of her comic books, but it's like one of the later issues.
Oh, what the hell's his name? It's gonna bother me.
That's cool though, but I don't know when Afra's takes place though. It's got to be.
It is after episode 7. Oh, it is book of Boba Fett. I thought it was this book of Boba. Christensen something. What is it? Black Chrysanthemum. His name is Black Chrysanthemum. The Wookiee.
Black Chrysanthemum? So,
Black Chrysanthemum's story is he's a gladiator. He's a Wookiee that didn't feel like he followed the Wookiee ways in Kashyyyk. Yeah. He goes off-world. He becomes a slave in a gladiator ring. They fuse his knuckles together with metal and put these shocker things on his hand to be more powerful, and he becomes a gladiator and eventually becomes a bounty hunter, and actually works with Boba Fett quite a bit in the comic books.
Really?
Yeah, so they have a history. That's why he calls him Gladiator in episode 2.
Yeah.
Back to where I was talking about. So basically, they're saying multiple people are competing for this area. Boba Fett's trying to figure out who, where, what, and why, and he's at this point trying to create a family, a team, or his own crime syndicate. So he gets 2 Gamorrean guards that worked under Bib Fortuna. He then recruits a mod gang, because there's a lot of fun cameos in this series where you have the guy who had the red stapler in the Office Space movie.
Really? He's in it?
He was the water guy. He was the guy who's like, these modders are stealing my water. And then Boba goes into
So
he's like, have you seen my stapler guy?
Yeah.
You have Trejo, Danny Trejo, as the Rancor Wrangler. The robot is the his voice actor is the guy from Into the Shadows. He's the bigger, fatter vampire who's married to the girl.
I haven't seen it.
Never mind. But that guy is in it, and a couple other people are in this series. But that's beside the point. So basically, he's trying to amass an empire, if you will. He's having his difficulties and his woes.
Yeah.
Black Chrysanthemum tries to assassinate him. His mod people try to save him, and you find out that a crime syndicate that's moving spice is the one who's behind everything. And that's how episode 4 kind of tails off. But I mean, I think without just droning on about every scene and everything like that, like, you learn a lot about Tuscan culture, which is not necessarily necessary, but it's nice to see. You learn a lot about Black Chrysanthemum, Boba Fett's prior history a little bit, even a little bit about Fennec. And I think it's just nicely done, and it's definitely not carbon copy. The Book of Boba is definitely different than The Mandalorian. Yes, they're both Mandalorian. Yes, they're both people with helmets and guns and whatever, but you can see that he's created a new path for himself with his Tuscan Raider tutelage.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing that I find interesting is like, they're definitely going, like, I think they're going more heavily into the Western, like, spaghetti Western style.
For Mandalorian or for
Boba?
Okay.
Personally, because it's like, I mean, which makes sense, because quite frankly, that's what he was literally kind of based on Man with No Name. So,
right.
It's interesting to me that they kind of, because, like, I don't, have you ever watched, like, the old Clint Eastwood? No. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's probably not. But, like, those long shots of them, like, him training and, like doing stuff like that's those movies. Like, those movies are, like, 2 fucking hours long, but could be shaved down to an hour. It's, like, a lot of the time, a scene is, like, twice as long, because it's just, like, a dude walking from one end of the screen to the other, and then he finally starts talking to somebody. You're like, that could have been, like, a minute shaved out of that scene. Like, what the... Anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah. So it's definitely an interesting piece. It's going to be interesting what they do with the storyline, and we'll have to see. There's 2 episodes left in this series, which is going to be interesting, because yet again there'll be a lull in between Disney Plus series, because the next one I'm aware of is March 30th, which is Moon Knight.
No, well, I mean, that's not that long, really.
It's a month.
Yeah. Settle down.
No.
Spoiled.
It's been back to back to back to back, dude. But yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it's a good series. It's very entertaining to watch.
Can you imagine the team of people that is needed to make all this shit happen?
For our 6 episodes. Yeah. Like, all right, next. No offense to all you people out there who.
No, I understand what you do.
Of entertainment.
But it's kind of funny to me, because it's just like people are just like consuming now at an insane rate.
Yeah.
But it's a good time. Good time.
But I guess, we talked about the baseline story. We talked about what we thought. I guess we could leave it here as predictions. What do you think the last 2 episodes are going to hold?
Well, I think he's going to take down or piss off greatly. I don't see I guess the thing here is like the Hutts, the twins, they doesn't really establish how much they control. And if they're super powerful, like off-world powerful, like I wonder if they're the end of this season, or if this is going to be like an ongoing baddie kind of thing.
So I think I agree with you that the big bad is not completely revealed, because this spice syndicate, yeah, you can have a lot of people here, but I don't think that's the big bad.
No.
Ultimately, I think there's another layer behind that.
Could be where the Red Suns come in, perhaps.
My wild and audacious thought is, I bet Boba Fett dies at the end of this.
Oh.
That's my thought process. Because, like, Tamara Morrison, I think that's his name, who plays Boba Fett, he's not super young, and I'm not trying to say he's doing a bad job. He's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
But the thing is, you know, like, where do you take Boba Fett after this, right? You know, like, he's creating this family, and he's yearned all his life to get this family, quote unquote, right? And he's not necessarily that, you know.
I could see, because they chose their words with book in the way that it's passed down.
So, like, I think at the end of it, he gets his family, but he dies, and Fennec is the one who takes over the mantle. That's my audacious kind of prediction of the series.
Did she get his armor?
No, she's not a Mandalorian, but she'll
No.
What?
Or is Boba Fett?
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He was raised by his father with the Mandalorian processes.
Yes, but technically he is not Mandalorian. And he doesn't even go by the Mandalorian ways.
That's the fight that he and Bo-Katan are having in the Mandalorian episode that they meet, but...
No, yes, but, like... I mean, not so much, but yeah, no, technically he is not Mandalorian. So, like, because he never, I mean, especially now, he never wears his helmet. And, I wonder if he'll, like, because remember, he, like, in that episode when he gets his armor, he's like, he really hammers home, like, this is my family's armor, this was my father's, it's mine, it was given to him, you know, and it's mine, so whatever.
But I think he still fights with Bo-Katan at that bar where he's like, you're not a Mandalorian, and then he shows the chain code and whatever.
Yeah.
And he fights that he verbally is trying to say he's a Mandalorian, but...
I just think, like, I think that they're going to, if they do, like, I think that's cool as shit, and I really hope she gets the Mandalorian armor, because if she gets Boba Fett's armor, like, that would be pretty fucking cool in my opinion, because it, like, yeah, I agree, he can't be Boba Fett forever,
right? And
clearly, I think a lot of people, Disney knows a lot of people liked her character from The Mandalorian, so they're probably thinking Favreau was like, all right, like, you know, what's his face can't do this forever.
Yeah.
Get the next one in line.
Sure.
I don't know how much younger she is. I can't imagine that much younger.
She has a 20-year-old son.
Yeah, that's what.
She was on ER in the mid-90s, so I think she's like 50.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's what she was the voice of Mulan in the like 96 or something like that, right?
That's right. You're right. Holy moly.
58.
Yeah.
I think she's older than Tamara Morrison.
It's almost our mother's age. Anyway, maybe it's someone else. Could it be her? I mean, I guess technically they only need her around for...
Tamara Morrison is 61, so 3 years older.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my prediction for this series. I think a big bad will be revealed. You're going to have a Mandalorian.
I think
Din Djarin come through.
Maybe they start a family. Nah, I mean, like maybe that's what happens.
What,
like
that Mandalorian and like Din Djarin and Ming-Na Wen get together?
No.
Oh, you're saying
no? Boba Fett. Clearly, the age difference is nothing.
Right.
So it's like I kind of felt they were close in age. I'm like, unless I'm really misreading Morrison's age,
Yeah.
which is possible.
Right.
But anyway, some people, age very slowly. And but yeah, like, but yeah, maybe, I mean, relatively, when you think about it, they're almost 60 years old and
Right.
going to start a family.
I mean, you have to think Space Eaters are different because Grogu's 50 years old, right?
No, he's 90, I think, right?
No, 50.
Oh, is he 50?
Grogu's 50 in the Star Mandalorian, but the thing is Luke, I think, is like 30 when he goes off-world at Tatooine or something like that, right? He's older. Or something like that. I don't know. But
I'm trying to think, because Grogu, is he 50?
No.
Motherfucker. I thought it was 90.
He was the same age as Luke, I think. He's the same age as Luke.
Impossible.
No, it's not, because Anakin... No, he's the same age as Anakin.
Okay. Fuck.
Maybe he was the chosen one. It's a big popper.
52. Well, there's people that have actually theorized that that he was supposed to be the one.
Yeah. So,
But anyway.
yeah, we're going down the conspiracy wormhole.
Well, no, it wasn't conspiracy. It's just people were saying like they could take this avenue to like right the wrongs that they did with the Skywalker saga.
Did you ever watch the Harry Potter?
No,
Okay.
dude, you no.
There's a
Bro.
There's a prophecy in Harry Potter that says it's either a character named Harry Potter or Neville Longbottom. This prophecy on who should have been the chosen one.
Neville Longbottom's a fucking Fantastic Beast, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's just kind of like a clumsier type of person.
Okay.
So, in terms of that, I mean, if they're trying to retcon everything with Grogu, that would be interesting and a phenomenal waste of time. Because if you think about it, all of the Anakin or Skywalker series is completely a not point.
Oh, I know. But that's just it, is it's like, I mean, at this point, they've already shit on it.
Right.
But, I don't know, like, yes, it is not point. Because when you really think about it, it's like, think about all those lives wasted. Like, literal
You were
spaces.
the chosen what? No, you?
No, yeah. That thing? A love child from fucking Yoda and, what was her name again?
Yaddle.
Yaddle. Yeah. God. But yeah, it's just funny to me. I mean, it like to theorize on that kind of stuff because like everybody was like, oh, they thought about multiversal stuff, and I was like, please God, not in Star Wars. Like I'm like, it like comics, okay, fine, but Star Wars, we can't cross that threshold.
So we have our wild and audacious type of predictions in the series. Let us know what you think of yours are.
Oh. Are you tired of them being on Tatooine? Let me ask you that.
No, because honestly, if you think about it from an episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 perspective of Tatooine, well, actually, and 9 because Rey goes back to Tatooine, you only know of 3 cities, right? Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, and then the moisture farms that Luke's at, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I mean, like, it's a desert planet, but you've seen 3 locales, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I'm not well. For me, I feel as though that Boba Fett can't really go anywhere else because that's kind of been his planet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing
established
is, like he said in this last episode, it's more powerful that they know that he's dead, or they think he's dead.
Yeah.
So there's no point to be like, hey, Boba Fett's back!
Yeah.
Because then legitimately, like, Emperor Palpatine would have been like, he was a good bounty hunter. Hey, you want to come over here? Or
well,
whatever.
he's dead at that point. Well,
no.
Sort of. Technically.
The original Palpatine is dead. The puppet master Palpatine is being rejuvenated by Sith juices on that awful planet.
Sith juices.
Um,
Fucking A.
But the thing is like, I'm not tired of Tatooine. They just need to stop putting abandoned children on desert planets, like Rey and Luke, or whatever.
Well, and like Grogu, and then like I don't know, like everybody's like, they're like, why? It's such an insignificant planet in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And literally now 3 potential heavy force users are now tied to that planet.
Well, no. Well, Ray's home planet is not.
No, but
just using a desert planet as a
because because she eventually moves there,
Yeah.
and it seems as though that's where she's gonna start her new life, kind of.
No, I think she just played homage to Luke and Leia and buried the 2 lightsabers there, even though she was on Alderaan, which doesn't exist anymore because it got blown up.
Yes.
But, and then I would assume she left because she has her own lightsaber. What is she going to do? Be a moisture farmer? Just like, wee.
I mean, well, just start the academy in the middle of nowhere.
Let's go to
Luke.
fucking desert planet.
Sure, well, that's all she knows when you think about it.
I suppose.
You know.
Yeah. But before this becomes another hour-long episode, throw your hypothetical thoughts and ideas on Book of Boba Fett, excuse me, and then also what you think is going to happen in episode 4.
He wants it to be
6.
Boba Tea so bad.
Boba.
No, but no, let us know. I mean, we think it's solid.
Yeah.
I hope they go with more than just 1 season on this one.
Yeah.
Personally.
If he doesn't die, I can.
I guarantee you they're probably going to kill him off eventually. But I think after 1 season, that might be too soon.
Sure.
Too soon!
So, please like, subscribe. We'll see you next time, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Later.